Our top story tonight on 7 News at 6. A devastating fire rips through a Jefferson County apartment complex, leaving everyone living there without a home tonight. An accident so bizarre, it prompted other drivers to slow down and stare in disbelief. It's a bizarre case of a man apparently running a meth lab in a local motel room. And when authorities tried to track down the suspect, they didn't have far to look. I think your copy and paste graphic button got stuck there, Dr. Dave. Yeah, you forgot to add some more sunshine in there.
Yeah, well.
Hey, everybody, guess what? I'm Leigh and I'm in the Health Plan Sports Zone. John Marshall and Wheeling Central playing for state softball championships in Vienna today.
Well, Nate, it's not every day that you or I ask for a traffic jam out here in front of the offices on 16th Street, but that's exactly what we're praying for here today. And this is why, because the Salvation Army has set up a Red Kettle campaign to help out those in the South who have been devastated by these tornadoes. And one man who knows all too well what these people are going through is Major Blevins with the Salvation Army. Some very tense moments here on the Ohio River as a barge breaks free, causing a man to contemplate jumping. This section of the home was built in 1845, but it's since been added on to. We figure around the early 1900s.
Being involved with a local theater, one might only find it appropriate that PD has this dramatic element when it comes to his life.
And this area is called What Were They Thinking? And after grabbing this off the rack, what were they thinking? I thought it was a dress, but apparently they thought it should be pants. Being in the military was in Wheeling Park High School counselor Leo Boise's blood. His father served in World War II, met Leo's mother in Belgium, and then moved back to the United States.
When I graduated from high school, I was drafted, and instead of going to the draft, I enlisted into the Army.
It was off to Fort Dix, New Jersey for basic training.
Within 9 months after that, I found myself in Vietnam. I was a young man, didn't even know where Vietnam was.
Reality sat in after a 20-hour plane ride.
As soon as they opened that door and I felt that humid heat of Vietnam, I just knew I was in a different world. It didn't start really dawning on me how dangerous it was until I saw some of my friends die. My job was to deliver ammunition and fuel to our tanks and our armored personnel carriers. We were under the constant threat of being ambushed, but what was more frightening were the mines. They were just planted in the ground, and you just never knew when you were on the road whether the next roll of the tire was going to detonate a mine. Oftentimes I just wondered if I would still be living when my mother would receive that letter.
After 1 year, it was time to come home.
I can still close my eyes and see the trees in northern Washington state, the pine trees. They were so different than the jungles I had just left.
An exciting moment turned sour.
And one of the things they told us to do when we were leaving camp was to not wear our uniforms,
for fear that the unpopular war would turn those at the airport against the soldiers.
It's not happening today, and I'm so grateful. I see people shaking hands, and that anyone that's wearing a uniform today doesn't have to feel ashamed of who they are and what they're doing.
President John F. Kennedy has a space center, an airport named after him, Theodore Roosevelt, a teddy bear, and me, Leigh, an alpaca. Back in July of this year, we took you on an adventure to Rancho Chico Alpaca in Ohio County. I was amazed that all of them had a name and felt a little left out.
Would you ever consider naming one of them Leanne?
I sure would! Well, meet little Leanne, now roughly 8 weeks old.
She had an unremarkable birth. She was up and walking and nursing within an hour, and she's just a little feisty thing.
Sounds like we already have something in common.
Leanne the alpaca weighed in at 13 pounds. Leanne the news anchor at a little more than 7. Her mom and dad are Zulika and Black Diamond. Mine are Deb and Gary. And by the looks of it, she had a bit more hair.
Oh, she reminds us of you. She's very talkative, very inquisitive.
Unfortunately, I don't think Leanne the alpaca will ever get paid to talk and ask questions.
It will be 6 months before we wean her, and she'll be about half of her mother's body weight.
I left home for college at 18.
And they'll cry for a couple days, but she'll be fine.
I was there for her first haircut, and it's only right that she got a nice bob like mine. Every alpaca has a story, and you just heard that of little Leanne.